The 6.5 is on the road here at Lenovo Tech World in the iconic Sphere in Las Vegas. This event and structure is amazing. And Dan, we're the live pregame here. Can you believe this?
We are the pregame. It is Tech World, Pat, and it's going to be a killer lineup today. It's going to basically be us here for the next couple of hours with all of you. Very excited, and thank you so much all for joining. And of course, we're going to be talking to some of Lenovo's leadership throughout the next couple of hours, and then they're going to have it's like a star-studded kind of thing going on here, right? Jensen Huang,
yes.
Of course, YY, CEO of Lenovo, is going to be up on stage. You're going to have Lisa Su. I mean,
yes.
Cristiano Amon. I don't think I can be fair and give credit to everybody here. I'd be reading off the list, but it's a star-studded event, and yes, this venue never disappoints.
Yeah, it is a big show, and one of the interesting things about Lenovo is they operate from pocket to cloud, all the way from the smartphone, all the way to the largest hyperscaler data centers and everything in between. Now, one of the big conversations related to AI is physical AI or edge AI. You know, when should you put your AI in certain places? When does it go in your pocket? When does it go in your PC? Where should it go? Now, for the factory floor, it has to operate disconnected from the mothership power. And I can't imagine a better person to talk about this than Anwar from Lenovo. Anwar, great to see you.
Great to see you. Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So Pat said it well, right? I mean, factory scale is just different. When you're thinking about putting AI to work, there's a couple of big differences. Of course, you've got latency, you've got security, and you also have accuracy. I mean, that's one of those things like where I always say like an LLM, if it comes back and it's wrong, no harm. It's maybe a little annoying.
Yeah.
But when the factory floor, when it's not precise, you start to get, misrun batches of gear. You get equipment broken down that shouldn't have broken down. There's a lot going on. So like, what is, in your mind, the keys, the bottlenecks to basically do AI and inference at scale inside of these AI factories?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. AI factories on the factory floor.
AI factories for factories. Yeah. No, I think one of the things that you touched on there is really important, which is reliability. I don't know of any company that can afford to have their factories down for any reasonable amount of time. So having intelligence locally, running in the edge or in the factory doing defect detection and so on, and having like a fast turnaround time to correct that is critical, right? You can't, comms goes down, power goes down outside the city, can't affect your operations. So that's one of the reasons why hybrid AI on the factory floor just makes a ton of sense. It makes sense in other contexts too that you brought up, personal devices and so on, we can get into that, but on the factory side, it's absolutely mission critical, and getting scale performance across all the factories in the world is quite difficult to do in a centralized way. So we think the hybrid AI story is a really strong one.
So Anwar, there has been AI in the factory floor for years, right? And it was traditionally machine learning, very hard to program once you got it right. Now we're in this age of generative AI where you can actually take advantage of all the data that's being produced out there. Mm-hmm. And my impression from previous generations was it was big data, but it was smaller compared to what we can do with the new technologies. Yeah. What is it architecturally that needs to change to be able to take advantage of the technology, but also all the data that's being created?
Yeah, it's amazing. These models that we're getting today are extremely capable. They have huge context windows, meaning you can, look at a lot of context to answer a question or make a decision or accomplish what you want to accomplish. I think the challenge, though, has to do with data, and you kind of hit the nail on the head here, which is, and there's a lot of results from research and industry showing this. Feeding the right data in is critically important. You can get away, these models are so good these days that even with like a distilled or quantized small model, you can get amazing results if you have the right contextual data that you're providing. So one of the challenges and that we're building for in hybrid AI is getting the right data to the model or the agent at the right time. there's I don't know, a couple of industry blogs recently that kind of really clearly show what goes wrong when you're just like shoving data into this thing blindly if you're not doing any kind of curating or distillation. So I think that's kind of the next frontier for scaling out models all the way to the edge. And when I say all the way to the edge, I mean like in your pocket, like you said, or on your wrist or whatever.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's happening really quickly too. Just being here at this event in the last few days as we came into the year, it was like watching just how fast model innovation. But we saw an interesting thing in a recent presentation, Pat, where they kind of showed the number of models being created. There's so much focus on models, kind of the big frontiers, but so many models for like real world, for manufacturing, for use cases, for healthcare. Like this is where the volume and all that data that gets unlocked, because like we're still really trained. Most of like what people have experienced right now with AI is what, like 5% of the world's data. And so being able to optimize the factory, for instance, is one of those use cases. There'll be a whole set of models that'll have to be created just for these use cases.
That's right.
And it's really, really interesting. But we kind of started, we talked about security, we talked about low latency, all of those things to drive inference, but hybrid is the thing, right? I mean, so you might have those zero latency needs at the edge for running the day-to-day operations on the floor. At the same time as all that data is being created, you're not going to have enough compute locally to have all that data stored there, managed there. It's going to all have to be uploaded and out to the cloud, and then you're synthesized and analyzed. Like, how are you sort of recommending that organizations design to do this in a way that works?
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the mission that our team has. So I run a group called the Lenovo AI Technology Center. We're basically creating a platform to do exactly this, to take data that you've put in your data lake, your lake house, whatever data storage system you have, and based on the kind of agentic work you want to do or prompts that you're seeing and so on, we can actually go and pull the relevant data, the relevant subsection of the knowledge graph, optimize it for context to be used with that work or that prompt. I think the key thing we want our customers to know is that the data systems themselves don't have to change. It's really what we build on top of it. And getting smarter about how we manage that context, what data wants to live at the edge or can live at the edge for data security reasons or otherwise, and what can live in a lakehouse, in the cloud, or in an on-prem data center, and whatnot. Our goal is not to be prescriptive about where to move this stuff, but when you're storing it at rest, but to be prescriptive about how we move it when you're actually working with the data. So really, your existing installation, if you're a customer, your existing storage mechanism should work. There's so many amazing developments in the ecosystem right now. People making old data storage systems work for the modern era. And we just want to make our stuff just work with that as well, so it's like turnkey for customers.
Yeah, the industry seems to be focusing in on this element of a data fabric, okay? Where it doesn't matter where the data necessarily sits, right? The industry's already tried piling all of your data into a data lake. That doesn't work. It's unwieldy, and you're one acquisition away from breaking that paradigm. So coming up with a data fabric that cuts across wherever the data is, and then you add on top of that enterprise SaaS data, right? So is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's a fabric in the sense that it's connecting. It's a fairly distributed system that we have with hybrid AI specifically, but in general, if you look at any enterprise installation, you have people with laptops and phones accessing data, you have the data center, you have smaller server clusters, they may have a cloud backend that they're using for some things, for some SaaS application. It's everywhere, so we need to be everywhere. One of the things that maybe is a slight nuance is that it's not just knowing where the data is. You actually have to do some comprehension and semantic understanding of the data, build ontologies that help you understand how this data is related to this other data, so that you can actually make sense of it. And this is why you mentioned that data lakes in and of themselves don't just work. Just feeding a bunch of data in doesn't work. You really do have to understand the relationships of the data to each other.
That's right.
Is this describing an object on the factory floor? What is it saying about it? That kind of thing. And there are companies working on that. We're working on that. It's not an easy problem, but it is a problem that we think we can solve. And maybe the good news here is that with data, there's never an end. Like we will.
Sure. There's always going to be
We'll
more
always
of
need
it.
to scale.
It's always going to be
Yes.
changing.
That's
So
right.
that's interesting. So I think we all agree that an AI factory for a factory on the edge is an important thing,
Yep.
especially in this new age of agentic AI. And I'm curious, what does that look like to you? And what do your customers need to get the steps to get there?
Yeah. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of discussion right now in the ecosystem about ROI and so on. As I said earlier, I think the models are amazing. You can do a lot with these models, even the very optimized models. But there's a little bit of work you have to put into it, right? We talked about data a fair bit. I think users capturing or customers capturing and structuring data as much as possible is helpful. However, I do think one of the big gaps we're seeing now is getting enterprise employees, using the tools,
Right.
familiar with the tools.
Right.
Like it's, you can get a license for, whatever tool X, Y, and Z for your employees. You're not going to see ROI until they actually, use it. Your employees are using it. They're seeing that productivity improvement. They're actually, experimenting with it, finding new ways to use it, and so on. On some level, I do think your employees are going to be the ones training the AIs,
Right.
so it's really important that they do that. But yeah, outside of data capture, I would say that's it. I think there's a cultural kind of gap we have right now to getting people kind of using the tools for more than just like writing an email to your student, your child's teacher.
For sure.
It's actually, really interesting though that we evolve very quickly, and now AI creates this different relationship where it can do a lot more of the work we do, and it can make us like exponentially more productive, or it can actually kind of replace the productivity and that relationship between humans and machines. But we're still, to what you're saying, to some extent, beholden to people participating, which by the way has been a problem with every technological shift in history. Is like, do the people use the tools? Because anyone that's run companies like we do and bought technology tools and then been frustrated about why, it's like the tech works.
Yeah.
It's people in the relationship, it's complicated.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that it's always like, some people call it a time machine. I think of it as a force multiplier for your human employees. And if they're not using it, you're not going to realize that increased productivity. I know for me personally, I've used it. It's uncomfortable at first, to like play around with these tools and so on. But the increased productivity is amazing.
For sure.
I mean, I don't know how I'd live without it at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm in that world too.
I love it.
It's funny. I went in one year with my employees saying, if you use AI for certain tasks, I will fire you. And then I moved into, I will fire you if you don't actually use these tools.
So I have a variation on that. We were
That's
interviewing.
a little harder on people, You probably didn't just, go ahead.
Well, we had some candidates we were interviewing for jobs, and some of these interviews are remote because they're remote. They live in remote locations. They haven't relocated yet. And the question came up of like, well, what do we do if we think they're using AI? And I said, well, what if we said it's okay to use AI?
Right.
And not only is it okay to use AI, but we want to see how you're using AI as part of it. And I actually meant it, and that's what we're doing now, right? It's like, okay, you're going to use AI, great. You might be using AI at work. You probably will. So let's.
Yeah. I think there was a period where you realized there's no turning back. We're not going back to cotton gins, no printing presses. It's not going to be linear television in the future, and we're not going to have a world where AI is not driving productivity, and whether it's on the factory floor, or whether it's in the data center, or whether it's out in autonomous vehicles, or all these different things. But what I will say is physical AI and what you're talking about is a huge opportunity.
For sure.
We see it as a multi-trillion-dollar TAM expansion that basically is just getting started.
Yeah.
And this was a great conversation, Anwar. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, and thanks everybody for joining this session here of our Lenovo Tech World program coverage. We've got a lot more expert conversations coming up here. Stick with us. We'll be back in a few.
65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
65. 65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back.
Of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
65. 65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
6.5.
The 6.5 is on the road, and we are here at Lenovo Tech World at the iconic Sphere in Las Vegas. Daniel, we are live, baby. Look, this infrastructure here at the Sphere is unbelievable, and we are ahead of the big show with YY, with Jensen, with Lisa, with Lip-Bu, with Cristiano, and a lot of other great guests.
Yeah, we've got a star-studded lineup. Not as good as the lineup here at our desk.
Oh, that's
here.
right.
I mean,
just wait till you meet our next guest.
We will have fun. I mean, look, Pat, it is a exciting week, and yes, this venue is iconic.
Yeah.
But the AI transformation is just mind-blowing. The speed of which things are happening right now. And, you know, I know there's some people out there that have their doubts, but what I'm seeing day in and day out is the pace of change and the opportunity that we have to drive productivity into this world with AI is just incredible. So I'm just loving listening to all these experts and having these conversations here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Infrastructure used to be not sexy, but guess what? It's sexy, it's driving the markets today. It is back, and by the way, it's changing very rapidly. And one of the things that we saw in the early days of machine learning about 7 or 8 years ago was the transition from training to inference. And with generative AI and agentic AI, we're seeing the same thing. But architectures need to change to be able to meet that new agentic AI need. And I would like to welcome Scott Teese back to the 6.5 to have this conversation about inference.
It's good to be with you guys. Thanks for having me again, as always. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
What is this, like your third
or
100th
fourth
time?
I always like seeing you guys, especially in places like this. Pretty amazing.
Isn't this great?
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, yeah.
It is great.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about doing AI, right? I mean, some of us are building these more frontier kind of organizations where we're looking at every process in our business and we're saying, where does AI fit?
Yeah.
Where is it autonomous? Where is it AI, human plus machine? Where is it still very human heavy? with maybe a little support, machine learning, analytics. There's this whole continuum. But that's not what, I mean, most organizations, I think we're still early. We're still really early. I'm just kind of like, what are you seeing in terms of that gap between the kind of the ambition, stuff we're seeing at events and the speakers we mentioned here, and what they're saying, and the enterprises that companies like yours at Lenovo is dealing with every single day?
Yeah, we're talking to customers all over the world, as you guys know, and you know, I think the big thing that we're seeing is a lot of companies, they go into AI, they're not quite ready for the operational excellence that it's going to take to run this AI. You know, what we're trying to do now is move out of those frontier models and taking, you know, a Llama or, you know, OpenAI and actually turn it into something people are actually going to use. When we do that and we start running inference, that's where people are going to experience the benefits of AI.
Yeah.
That's where a worker's going to get more efficient. That's where a factory is going to make decisions smarter about quality. Doctor's going to make better decisions. It's that inference workload that we're starting to see take off. But some customers are not ready for operationalizing that. They're still focused on building the model out, not putting into like an ongoing, perpetually evergreen state. And that's what we're helping them do right now. And that's the exciting part of this journey, and that's just getting started.
So is it just them building the model, or what about like these enterprises, like how about the adoption side of these things? Like, are you still seeing like doctors resist, or you know, the lead foreman on the shop floor? I mean, are they buying into it too, or is that another point of contention?
You know, when we first started doing testing with AI, it was data scientists or technical people were doing testing, and we were doing a lot of like showmanship. We were teaching a machine to do something that people only thought a human could do. Now we've moved past that. Now the lines of businesses are coming to the table and they're asking for, hey, how do we deploy this AI? How do we use it? How do I get closer to my customer? How do I get more efficient? So it feels like people are embracing it a lot more than they did in the past, which I think is, you know, step one in getting it done. So we're seeing real viable AI being deployed right now today.
Yeah, there's a lot of enterprises. I did a recent enterprise advisory board in Europe for a customer I may not name, but had a bunch of CIOs there, and they were talking about AI and how they're deploying. A lot of them were using AI, but it was through basically the web or through a SaaS, and then on-prem and on the edge, they had done a lot of experiments. They had done some POCs, and some of those POCs delivered value, and they're scaling it, and that's where we bring in inference. And can you talk to me why, above the obvious, which is why inference is important, because you actually have to run the applications? Is it any deeper than that? The value of inference in rolling this out?
You know, you said something pretty neat, Pat, that the early ones you saw were a lot of SaaS type things. And I think what was nice about SaaS is it made it really easy to make AI part of the workflow. You know, if you're doing AI for AI's sake and you're just doing like these one-off projects, experimentations, it's not likely gonna end in something you can actually deploy and do in real time. If you're building it in as part of your workflow, much better chance of success. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot more, whether it's done in the cloud, whether it's done in the data center, or if it's done on the edge. And we're seeing all of that. That's part of that hybrid AI vision that we've talked to you guys about in the past. It's AI is going to have value chain, bits of the value chain all along that, from the cloud all the way out to the edge, even the desktop and in your pocket.
That's right. Hybrid cloud, I knew was going to be a success because it's what customers want. And I always like to say that a company is one acquisition away from having another cloud vendor as well. So
remember that silly time when clouds thought they'd be the cloud?
Right, it was going to be everything. And here we are with AI, Daniel, and you know, every cloud, public cloud, is building all of this software just for their customers, and they're really not talking to other clouds, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, well, I mean, what most organizations look like, you know, they're very distributed.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of things we're talking about here is like, you know, you might think of a company where a traditional chatbot could do a lot of things for that company. Like think about a retail, you know, a large retailer. You know, Amazon's one that come to mind, but think about a physical retailer, like Walmart. Well, you know, the customer experience might be very much like a centralized AI thing could work in terms of creating a customer experience.
Right.
Cloud, you don't need, latency's not a huge issue, it could take a few seconds. But then you think about the whole supply chain. Think about distribution centers. You've got trucks, you've got packaging, you've got boxing, you've got like financials, and all of a sudden you've got this really crazy distributed compute requirement. And that's really hard. I mean, so, you know, I'd love to get your take on this. You know, We go across factories. You got stores, you got hospitals, you got remote workers, right? You got all these things. You know, centralized AI can work for some of them, like I just said. Can't work for all of them. So like, how are you helping companies deal with that fragmentation, that complexity?
Yeah, again, I think a big part of it is accepting that AI is going to be hybrid, that centralized model where everything goes in either into my data center or in a cloud data center is not going to make it. Data has way too much gravity, and we talk about data gravity a long, long time. This AI is proving how strong that gravity pull is. Customers have two choices. They can bring their data to AI, somewhere out in a cloud, or they can bring AI to their data. And a lot of companies are going to find that the latency, the data sovereignty issues, security, just the networking, bandwidth and bulk to move that much data is going to mean you want to bring the AI to the data rather than the other way around. So being able to run properly sized AI at the edge, in the data center, and out in the public cloud is the right way to do, and that's what we're guiding our customers to do as they get started. Yeah, that's right, and if we look at history, and typically compute starts in a centralized place. We saw it with mainframes, we saw it with mini computers, and then actually mini computers were the disaggregated version of the mainframe. Exactly. And then client server disaggregated that, and then you went cloud tried to re-aggregate. No, exactly. So the industry goes through this aggregation and disaggregation, and what I'm pleasantly surprised at is the tools to manage between the different environments are getting better. You want to manage the data, you need to manage the security between those, and there will be agentic orchestrators as well that go between these different environments. But as AI becomes embedded in everyday life, what is going to separate, I don't want to call it the winners and the losers, I'll call it a lasting competitive advantage. There you go. Is that better? That's nicer. A very politically correct
version of it. Durable. A durable lead.
Well, look what we saw in the age of the web, in the age of e-commerce, and social, local, mobile. Those companies who didn't embrace it and just crush it, they went out of business, or they went from the #1 market share company, to the #5 market share company. Yeah, I think a big part of it is how you approach AI. If you're going into it thinking you're going to build the killer model for some specific function, you're likely not going to be one of the long-term winners. If you go into it thinking this is all about operationalizing for the long term, keeping it reliable, keeping it evergreen, keeping it secure, those are the winners there. Those are the people that they're treating AI, again, as part of the workflow that they're already doing. That's who's going to ultimately win. People that have good data practices today, already in place, they're going to benefit because they're going to be able to adapt to that AI better, embrace it more fully. Also, we try to give guidance to enterprises on, really find out what is strategic to your company. Right. And you need to do that yourself. Don't outsource it. It doesn't mean you do all the tech yourself. It's just, that is a proprietary value add that your company is. And then, quite frankly, commoditize the rest, because they don't differentiate you. Right. Maybe HR is not necessarily something that is differentiatable by company in your company, but hey, if you have 1 million employees, it probably needs to be. If you're making cars,
depends how many agents you have.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you're making something, it's manufacturing, maybe not a different area. Are you getting that same kind of feedback? Yeah, I mean, again, I think people are looking at where can they build an AI, what's already built, what do I have to build myself? Again, their data, I think most companies come to realize their data is the key to unlocking the biggest amount of value, but there's some low-hanging fruit that you can easily implement. A lot of that's being done in the cloud, which is, again, part of that whole value chain. Choose it to go in the cloud for those types of things. Other bits where it's your data and you're going to unlock valuable insight from that, you want to own that. And again, if you're in another country, you may not want that data leaving even the country border. If you're in the EU, you don't want to leave in the EU. You're in Japan, you don't want to leave in Japan. You're going to want to be able to do a lot of that kind of stuff on your own. Maybe it's outsourced to a GPU as a service company, but somewhere locally. And again, I think a lot of it's going to come back to where that data resides. You're going to want to bring the AI to it, and not all AI has got to be super power intensive, super exotic. A lot of it can be on devices like this, bound to a wall, an edge device, or even just regular data center stuff. Exactly.
It's really interesting too, because I think a lot of people have sort of misconstrued the size of the opportunity for AI. They really look at it, as chatbots and LLMs. And I think it was a really good point you made, though, as companies start to realize their data. Companies that have something unique will be the valuable companies. And so what AI is doing, though, is people that have sort of become brokers of widely publicly available information, that's going to collapse.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy to organize, sort, distribute, But if you're like an aggregator, like someone that was a job aggregator, I remember there's all those companies that'd be like, oh, we aggregate all the job postings from everywhere. Like AI could do that. You could build that app in like 5 minutes.
You can stitch AIs together in no problem.
You could do that in like 5 minutes.
Code that at the break.
But like if you have really truly unique understanding of, say like a Tesla that has billions of driven miles that can truly build a world model for what driving looks like. There's so much value in that.
I agree.
So I think companies figuring out how they can take their data is going to be one of the big projects over the next handful of years for them to, because they're going to have to reposition what they do.
Think about it, Dan. So like today, if you want to interface with an SAP environment or some big software database or whatever, you got to be a pretty deep expert to be able to do something powerful in that software. With AI, we're going to interface with it in human language. I'm going to speak to it in English. So I mean, it's like the playing field's been leveled for so many people to take advantage of this super powerful technology, and we're just at the beginning of touching what it's going to be able to do.
Well, Scott, I think your playoff music just came on.
I know, that's my walk-off music.
Walk-off music, but in all seriousness, great to have this conversation. Thanks for joining us. Always good to see you.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
And thank you, everybody, for being part of this Lenovo Tech World pregame coverage. Patrick Moorhead and myself here having a number of conversations. We're going to take a quick break for now. Stick with us. We'll be back soon.
The 6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5", 6'5".
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6'5".
Daniel Newman. Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
You're not entertained.
Six five.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead, he is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
You're not entertained.
Six five.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead, he is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
You're not entertained.
Six five.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead, he is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Code, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
Six five.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Code, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflection.
The 6.5 is on the road at Lenovo. Daniel, what a venue. Isn't this great?
Yeah, it's great to be here, Pat. Great way to start the year off. This place never disappoints. And you and I, you know, we're professional event attenders.
Yes.
And so when I get these invites to the events at the Sphere, it's always like, that one's going to move up the list of the things I'm going to show up to. And then when you add the speakers they're going to have here at Tech World, you know, you get YY, but you get Jensen, you get Lisa, you get Lip-Bu, you get Cristiano, and obviously so many more. I think we probably won't do it justice, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's like 20 awesome speakers, but yeah, I mean, man, I'm here butt in chair.
Yeah, it's great. So it's been a lot of tech obviously discussed here at Lenovo Tech World, and you know, Lenovo's unique in that it has AI that goes from pocket to cloud, the largest hyperscalers to even the smartphone, and pretty much everything in between. Now, the industry conversation for a while had been training LLMs, but as we move to this agentic AI arena, and we actually have to, enterprises in particular, make use of this, inference is now the name of the game. And we've been talking a lot about that here at Lenovo Tech World. And I can't imagine a better guy to talk about this than Flynn Malloy, longtime 6.5 attender.
Hey guys.
Or guest. It's great to see you.
Great to see you. Great to see everyone out there.
So the first thing though, do you want to talk this is kind of your event here, and you had a lot to do, and your team had a lot to do with this.
Oh yeah, lot of work going into this. We're excited about it for everyone, so please tune in. It's coming up. But this is the Sphere. You know, we have, we're going to be launching a lot of news, a lot of new products, lots of AI-related innovation that we're going to put forward. But we're also here announcing, you know, the launch of our FIFA technology sponsorship that's going to kick off today. You know, Adidas has the ball launch and Coca-Cola has the trophy launch. This is a technology launch for the FIFA sponsorship. It's going to run all the way through the Men's World Cup that's going to come for the next few months, culminating in the matches in July. So
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's an exciting event, and there's no better place to do it than here.
No,
at Sphere.
seriously.
This whole show is kicking off, talking my love language. First you talk about training. We're talking about the gym, right? Oh, you meant AI training.
Yeah, I see where you're
and then we
taking
talk
this.
about soccer, football as we call it around the world.
Football.
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 You know, I'm going to become better friends with these guys or sponsors of FIFA. I mean, I always liked Flynn, but now I like Flynn a lot. You know, like,
F1 wasn't enough, clearly.
no, it never is.
I am
You
your.
know that, right?
Remember who's your F1 buddy, okay?
Right.
All right. Let's just get that straight.
Let's get back to inference. I mean, look, you're right. Training is a small subset of the market. Now, everybody needs the training, and the training created this massive boom.
Yeah.
The 22 to now boom has been a lot of training.
Yep.
But as enterprises are trying to do AI, and my big predictions for the year were all about this enterprise AI inflection agents. You know, you hear something like a stat on Gemini, something like 10 trillion tokens a day. And that's kind of like the hybrid consumer enterprise. Now when you think about the enterprise unlocking all the rest of that data, and I mean, how big is this? How big of a turning point is this as enterprises go big into AI? And what's the opportunity for Lenovo?
Well, so first off, we completely agree with all of the assessment that you just said. I mean, I think what's coming, what has been, is the capital build out has been about training models, building models. But go ask businesses, big businesses, small businesses, go ask them, hey, what do you want to do? Is their answer, well, I want to build models. I need the technology to build models. No, they're going to say, I don't want to build AI, I want to use AI at scale, at speed, all around the world. And when you think about that, you know, how are they going to do that? Is it, you know, our conclusion and our belief why this hasn't, you know, expanded everywhere to the business yet? You know, I think there's a number of studies out there that say maybe only 5% of enterprises have arrived where they want to arrive in terms of using AI. The enterprise build out is still on its way. And there's a couple of reasons for that. And one of them is, you know, not everything's going to run in the public cloud. You know, there's a lot of fantastic innovation that's coming out. That's one part of the answer. You know, we've always said, and we've been talking to you guys and the market, you know, for a couple of years now. We announced first on stage with Jensen, YY did, hybrid AI is the right answer, which means some AI, you know, can and should run in the public cloud. Other, you know, you don't have to take your data to the AI. Bring the AI out to your data, to your private business center, to your private data center, to your edge, to your store, to your bank, to the mall, you know, out where the customers are, where the data is. And that's not a training answer, right? That's going to be, you know, the training technology, it's built around simultaneous upload of data, right? So that you can train those models. Inferencing technology is about throughput, right? It's about speed, 10,000 chatbots an hour. You know, 1,000 agents running on the platform at the same time, helping all the different functions inside of a company. That's what's coming. And I think that North Star has gotten clearer, but you know, the technology to get there, it's not fully mature yet, and you know, more and more businesses are leaning in, and so we agree. We think there's a big push around the inferencing wave into the market across big businesses and small businesses.
Yeah, so Flynn, in the early days, right, the early days of machine learning, you know, 7 or 8 years ago, there was a lot of discussion about unlocking value on the edge. Very similar conversations today, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's retail, or even healthcare, that quite frankly have to operate disconnected from the public cloud and even the corporate data center. How does this new generation, I'll call it agentic inference and AI, unlock value for those verticals?
I think a lot of that is about bringing the AI out to where the data is. It's about where the data is. Where's it coming from? Where's it generated? What are the compliance rules around it? What's the gravity of that data?
Latency matters then.
It does, but you know, I'll say there's several known bottlenecks to the inferencing technology of today. That's not as mature as it's going to be, right? It's memory, getting the right amount of memory to the right place so that you can process that right at where the data is coming in. Latency, as you say, do you want to round trip? Can you round trip everything up to the cloud? Some things you can, other things you cannot. Security, you know, a lot of that data is really private. Do you want to cycle all that through the learning models, you know, even the private ones up in the cloud, or do you want to keep it local? And then energy. If you're going to move that kind of processing power out to the edge to do that kind of throughput inferencing that you want, that stuff gives off a lot of heat, gives off a lot of energy. So these are the known bottlenecks around inference technology, and what Lenovo is doing is solving those bottlenecks. A lot of what we're going to hear in the Tech World show today talks about how we're solving those bottlenecks, because we want to be, we want to jump to the front and lead the next generation of technology and the solution stacks on top of it to deliver those inferencing solutions all the way out to the edge. And that doesn't mean you're disconnected from the cloud. It means this is an important component of your full hybrid AI strategy of the future.
And it's such an important thing that this inflection happens, Flynn, because a lot of the market that's kind of looking at this like as some type of bubble, it's because they believe that the entire TAM of AI are chatbots, meaning they're looking at how much revenue can ChatGPT drive, and it's like they're not factoring in every other use case where AI, and that's all that data.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be an inflection, because basically at some point, people need to start to see value derived and directly attributable to like, hey, we unlocked 25 years of data from our grocery store shoppers.
Yeah.
And we were able to more precisely place products around our store. We were able to more, rapidly deliver or get, supply chain optimized. So, and like you actually start to see margins grow. Yeah. You start to see revenues grow. Yeah. You start to, but this isn't like all easy. I mean, like, what are the infrastructure shifts that need to happen to really make this work? Because it's not all going to happen from super clusters in the cloud run by a very small number of companies that are doing AI for a very particular language, image, video creation purpose.
Yeah. I think there's a number of things there. What I would say is that if we look at some of the North Star for what a lot of businesses are thinking about what their company is going to look like in the future, any business, in any vertical, just think about it. What do they want to use AI for? By all means, running some of the subscriptions, some of the tests, some of the chatbots, out of the cloud. But the vision for the future is every function, marketing, sales, supply chain, development, manufacturing, legal, HR, all of them will have in their core workflows, they will have AI as part of that. And part of the technology challenge there is, can you get the right amount of power all the way to the end? Because it's not just, telemetry analysis. That's good, we've been there, we're there now. But, the vision for the future of AI, for marketing, for sales, for supply chain is, what about workflow? So beyond just looking at the telemetry, okay, now we want to understand that. Now we want to schedule the recycle. We want to, send out for the next thing. We want to, schedule the guy who's going to come and restock it. Like actual workflow processes that are running with AI. You can't do that with just gathering, a prompt, sending it to, the model, coming back. It's very different when you take AI inferencing technology all the way out to the edge with the right amount of memory, with the right amount of security to process that real time. Now you're in the middle of the enterprise workflow. That's a giant bubble. Every business, every function in every business is going to be thinking about re-workflowing, and that's when you can start measuring ROI. That's when you can start measuring gain in revenue, in sales, in cost reduction. That's what the enterprise is kind of waiting for. The killer app isn't there yet, and part of the reason is the technologies are not mature enough, the solutions are not mature enough, but it's coming. And when it does, it's going to change every function in every business.
Yeah, so I want to talk about scaling AI inside of the enterprise. We talked about PCs on the edge, we talked about the industrial edge, and also the corporate data center as well. Why is inference key? Is it just because there's not enough cycles in the cloud, or is it everything else, the latency, the data protection, everything else? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we do every year, we've talked to you guys about this before, we do a survey of 3,000 plus C-level clients, customers all around the world, and we ask them about, if you could choose where do you want to land your AI, where do you want to land it? And 65% of them all said, we need to land it in a hybrid way, which means some of that data we need to keep private. Some of the workflows we need to keep private. And by the way, where are our customers? Customers are not up here. The customers are all the way out here. And so if we want to move that all the way out to where the retail store is, where the bank is transacting, think about a hospital, right? We've given this example many times. There's nurses, there's doctors throughout the whole hospital. They have devices that are connected up to the hospital AI, right? They're personal with a intelligent device. when was the last time I met Pat, and what was his problems? Like that's customer private, very private data, right? To be able to interface then with the hospital, sometimes go to the public cloud, other times hospital-specific applications. It's a mix. It's a mix of personal device intelligence, private intelligence, and public. And that is the nirvana that everybody's trying to get to, and we're not quite there yet, but that's why we believe the inference bubble, because that's all inferencing, right? You're not building training models. That's not what you're doing with those applications. It's about throughput. Those agent interactions, the platform running, that's a totally different motion, and that's the kind of AI that we want to put out in the businesses around the world.
That's why on the infra level, there's so much focus on tokenomics, is being able to generate tokens inexpensively. But the other problems are still some of the same problems we had with the past generation. It's making data available to the AI. Before it was making data available to compute. It's just a different compute. It's playing within the rules, the compliance, the governance, the sovereignty now is a big issue. But Glenn, what is so amazing about what I think is going to happen is every company on the planet has the opportunity to just scale at just such a breakneck pace right now. And I mean, it's going to take a lot of partnerships and technology, and it's going to take a lot of work. And I think that's where your opportunity at Lenovo is so exciting is, look, you work with thousands of enterprises, whether it's your handsets, whether it's your PCs, around the world, people are touching Lenovo all the time. And I think that's really the opportunity. Give my little 1 second of advice to you guys is, look, you need to land that every one of these enterprises, you can help them unlock inference. Because I think right now, people are unlocking AI through the lens of data that's publicly available and easy to access. They're not unlocking all that rich, high-value data that they've spent decades or years building in their enterprise. And when they figure out how to do that, off we go.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's going to come in all those different forms, even out to personal. And that's why, what we're going to talk about in the show, of course, is going to focus on personal AI, enterprise AI, how you bring on-device intelligence all the way to the biggest supercomputers. AI is going to change all of that. And the opportunity for companies to accelerate is going to be right there in front of us.
Yeah, you connect that data fabric all the way from pocket to cloud, agentic orchestrators that cover the same real estate. You're really cooking with fire there.
Seamlessly connecting the back end to the front end.
That's right, I know.
Finally,
I know.
we can do that.
Step by step, Joe.
Step by step. That's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Finally, it's gonna happen. Flynn Malloy, thanks so much for joining us here. Always a lot of fun. Great event. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
And thank you, everybody, for being part of our Lenovo Tech World pregame here at the iconic Sphere. Check out all our other content. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a little bit.
65,
65,
65,
65.
65, 65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
The 65, 65,
65,
65,
6.5.
65, 65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
The 65, 65,
65,
65,
6.5.
65, 65.
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
6'5", 6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5", 6'5".
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6'5".
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead, he is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
You're not entertained.
The 6'5", 6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5",
6'5", 6'5".
We're here on the road. The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6'5".
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead, he is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
You're not entertained.
6.5 is on the road at Lenovo Tech World, and we are here at the iconic Sphere at Las Vegas. Daniel, people are starting to come in for the big show here, and we're having fun doing the pregame.
It's been fun doing the pregame. It's been, a little quiet. You and I have done the Sphere a handful of times now. Not sure we've done an event as big as the one here today at Lenovo Tech World.
Inside the Sphere, yes.
Yes, but it's been a little, almost eerily quiet while we've been in here pre-gaming.
Yes.
No more.
I know.
The action is coming. I saw some images of lines around the corner to get into this place because pretty much the who's who of technology. The last 2 years, biggest keynote speakers of CES are going to be speaking here, but you got a laundry list of the world's most important technology CEOs coming here to talk. What are we talking about? Devices? No, we're going to a little bit about devices, but it's going to be talking about AI, right? We're talking about AI.
Well, Daniel, the experience, I've been coming to CES here in Las Vegas for close to, 25 years. And it used to be you'd get on a stage and, you would talk and people would clap and you'd bring up new stuff up, put some Harvard graphics up there. But now this is the age of experience, right?
Yeah.
And the Sphere really epitomizes this. And Lenovo is integral to the Sphere experience, not just today, but beyond. And we brought here Dana from Lenovo to talk about how Lenovo is turning, what used to be a flat experience into this 360-degree extravaganza.
It's amazing.
Dana, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Excited to be here. It's awesome, isn't it?
Well, I can't believe you have time to come and sit with us as everybody's coming in and talk about this. Now, are you nervous? A little nervous about this?
Nervous about today's event?
Yes.
No, man, we've been planning this for so long. We're super excited.
Yeah.
The partnership with Entertainment Sphere is amazing, so we're just super pumped.
Yeah.
But there's a big choice to do this, right? I mean, it was a big decision. Like Pat said, you rent a big space, Vegas is full of them.
Yeah.
You bring all your customers in, they'll come, you're Lenovo. But you said, no, not enough. Like, we saw some other people do something, we got to go bigger. They did a 2-hour thing in the Sphere, we're going to do an 8-hour thing. No, I'm kidding. But like you guys made that commitment, like, we're going big. You're like, what was so compelling about trying to push? Because there's a little one-upsmanship coming on here, right? I mean, what was the compelling factor to do this?
I think the compelling event is that Entertainment Sphere is our customer and our partner, and so they're leveraging our technology, which is awesome. So we're just honored to be a part of it and showcase real customer use cases at a live event at our Tech World at CES, which is awesome.
Well, real quickly, you said they're your customer, so like this place just flooded with Lenovo stuff?
Yes, I mean, look around.
Everything around? All right.
Look around, yeah.
But not just the demo.
No. Yeah, definitely leveraging our technology for everything that you're seeing on stage, and so it's exciting times. And
so delivering this type of experience, I think I've heard you refer to it as immersion at scale, or maybe that was your partner here, takes a lot of not only creative vision, right? I mean, Daniel and I were here for the kicked off on Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It was absolutely stunning seeing the technology that went into that and all of the creativity, but also its operational execution, right? Things have to be reliable. Things have to work. I mean, the amount of displays alone, making sure that those work, moving the data around and doing all that AI processing. Now, I'm sure everything didn't always go perfect. Like, what are some of the challenges doing that in an environment like this?
I think when you have a customer that has a vision and they're wanting to execute on that vision, the important thing is being able to pivot through the partnership, right? And so as we're working through the different technical solutions and what the customer needs to provide, like you talked about, the massive amounts of data and visual content and the rendering and everything, so you need to be able to test and have that level of performance, the reliability that you mentioned, but also being able to pivot. And I think that's the one thing that I love about Lenovo and our partnership with Entertainment Sphere is we really drive our strategy based on the outcomes that customers want and their vision. So not only have we pivoted throughout the project, we'll continue to because the vision changes, right? As we innovate, as the Sphere expands and grows.
Well, technology is hard enough on its own, and you add entertainment to that, like movies, you can go to post-production. but you have thousands of people here at one time, and you've got to pull it off not only in a 16:9 format that's static, you can replay again, but it's real time and it's in the Sphere dynamic.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, the reliability is a key factor in all of this. You're in a real live show, right? So you need to be able to be reactive and make sure that everything's working and they're getting the level of performance that's desired.
For sure.
But I mean, in the end, I'm sure all the the kind of companies that came to Entertainment Sphere and pitched them, very capable companies. So what was the
the recipe? Why Lenovo?
I mean, when you're not busy selling Entertainment Sphere, you're selling. You have a large sales capacity at Lenovo. What won the deal for you?
Yeah, if I think about like the areas of why the Sphere chose Lenovo and why our customers choose Lenovo, it really comes down to performance, which we've talked about, having that consistent level performance, the reliability, and then really the partnership, right? The ability to create the right solutions for them, and then having the depth and breadth of the technology from our awesome Moto phones, and so from the AI and our phones, our AI PCs, all the way through the infrastructure. That really is the depth and breadth of the technology that we offer, and then our services and solutions. So the ability to be able to install, to do managed services, and then consumption-based modeling too. A lot of customers are looking at that for financial flexibility as well.
So Dana, we're industry analysts and we look at, different markets and the macro view. This is really cool, and I'm impressed with the tech that must have gone in here. The question is, how do those attributes and technology translate to the bigger markets here in North America? What does this mean to other North American customers, and why should they care?
It's all workload, right? So when you think about it, the Sphere is running a workload. All of our industry customers, whether you're in manufacturing and doing digital twins, whether you're in healthcare imaging, it's all about workload, reliability, performance, consistency, and that's why Lenovo, right?
Yes, no, it makes sense.
And having the depth and breadth of the portfolio is key.
That makes sense.
So, you guys have a big mission here. Lenovo in the pockets of so many people around the world, and on the desks even more so, right? Like, here I am, By the way, this is mine, everybody. Like, every day I get up, I use this machine.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, and so, you've made big inroads, infrastructure, services. The company's changed, and I think now like half the revenue is like not. But that's not necessarily like, I think, and I've talked many times to different parts of people in Lenovo, like they want to be known more for it. And AI is a big moment to make all these changes. Like, how are you sort of using this moment to see it help the bigger AI story, which goes well beyond devices? Devices are an enabler for sure, but like, it's got to be so much bigger than that.
This is a perfect showcase of what AI in the enterprise is, right? So we're seeing a lot of massive demand and compute for the cloud players and neo cloud, but this is a real life example of AI in enterprise, AI at the edge, delivering the latency that is needed to have this high performance show here, right? So it really is the differentiation.
Yeah, are there any details you can share on, or are those top secret on, the amount of data, the amount of servers, the amount of client devices, and edge devices? I mean, like, that we can go roar on.
I'm not sure if I'm able to talk about the exact solution or how much, but yeah, we partner a lot with, obviously Entertainment Sphere, a part of Madison Square Garden Group, so we do a lot with MSG as well.
Okay, and is it cross-platform?
Pardon me?
Is it cross-platform?
Meaning multiple and services.
Okay. No, that's exciting.
So, I mean, it really is an exciting time for Lenovo when you think about the depth and breadth of the technology, but then also a key thing that we're doing that I believe is a differentiator for us is working through and creating reference architectures with ISVs as well. So there's all these AI ISVs popping up, right? And you have customers that they don't have a lot more resources to be able to do this investigation, and so partnering with a company like Lenovo allows them to work with us. We'll do the validation, we'll do the reference architecture, and work with them so they can replicate it in their environment.
Excellent.
So Dana, for everyone out there watching, tell them exactly what they're going to see. I'm kidding.
It's going to be amazing. There's a lot of, we're having a lot of awesome speakers today, and it's going to highlight many of our partnerships across the company, as well as some entertainment that's going to be fun as well.
Dana looks way too calm that we're about, what are we? We're about an hour and 10 minutes before the big show starts, and she's like, she's got her phone up here, and she's having fun.
Well, what's she gonna do if it goes wrong?
I don't know.
What's that?
Stay calm. I said, what are you gonna do about it?
It's good.
She's not climbing into the production booth and fixing it.
There's so much preparation behind this.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Is her confidence in the Lenovo technology so big that this is where the confidence is coming from?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
You hope so, because this kind of venue, it's got to work. It has to work. Well, Dana, thanks so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Excited to have had you.
I can't wait to get in there.
I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Super excited.
And we appreciate everybody tuning in for this session. A lot going on here at the Sphere, and we hope you're going to tune in for the full keynote event. It's going to be multi-hours. Stay here, stay with us. We have a few more conversations here for the pregame. Stick with us. We'll be back soon. context. That'd be awesome.
After
I gotta get ready. I don't think I've talked to you since you went to Ensco.
No.
Well,
no.
So-
multiple. You're advising multiple companies, right?
I got a few other
Boards.
things I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got
6'5",
6'5".
6'5",
6'5".
6'5", 6'5". We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
what we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6'5".
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Not entertained.
Six five.
6'5".
6'5".
6'5".
6'5". 6'5". We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6'5".
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
The 6.5 is on the road here at Lenovo Tech World in Las Vegas at the iconic Sphere. The crowds are coming in right now. Hopefully you can see all the action. Daniel, I'm excited for the big show.
Yeah, it's buzzing around here. We're an hour before. I mean, lines were wrapped around the building. The iconic is not just the Sphere.
That's
the
right.
Icons of the industry, the titans of the industry are going to be rolling through here over the next few hours. And frankly, we're at an inflection point where there's a lot to be said. And I mean, it's going to be, of course, covering the whole gamut of all things AI. But Pat, I'm starting to get goosebumps a little bit. I'm excited to hear what's going to be said today.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we might be here in Las Vegas at a specific consumer show, but there's an incredible amount of infrastructure that's being discussed. And Daniel, I remember when people 2 or 3 years ago were saying, infrastructure's dead, infrastructure's a commodity. Now look at us in the age of agentic AI, it's absolutely banging. And whether it's the hyperscalers, and neoclouds, and everything in between, this is absolutely rocking. The complexity of the installs, getting these systems up and running, there are only a few people who can actually do this reliably. Things like, GPUs burning up, networking being misconfigured, and now you have
melting, Pat,
right.
not burning.
And now you have 2.5 ton racks that can barely even sit on a stage here in Las Vegas. We saw 2 of those today. One of the companies that is absolutely crushing it out there as a neocloud is Nscale. And they have partnered with Lenovo on this, and I'm really pleased to introduce Connor with Lenovo and Stu, an advisor to Nscale. Stu, it's great to see you again. Known Stu for since 95. I guess this is our 30th anniversary.
30th anniversary.
How about that? Anyways, good to see you.
Great seeing you. Great to be with you guys today.
Thanks for being back.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Well, it's good to have you back, Stu. It's been a minute. Look, this stuff is hard. I mean, operationalizing this stuff is very hard. So I want to have you share a little bit about how Nscale is doing that. But before you do that, why don't you just give everybody just a quick, there's a lot of neoclouds popping up. If you haven't heard of Nscale, give them like the 38-second elevator pitch too.
Well, I think Nscale, is first and foremost a European company, and so we've built our business, starting in Europe, starting with great power capability in Norway, and then expanding in the US, and our intent to expand around the world. But our start was there. We had the most successful B round in European history, followed by a Series C safe round the very next day. So we raised, over the course of a couple of days, we raised $1.5 billion, and I think Europe is excited about having a European-based champion to go ramp this stuff at scale, and that's part of our name is scale. Yes. So think of us as a highly motive, very nimble neo-cloud provider based in Europe, but with ambitions to go around the world with our capability.
All right, so given the background with Nscale doing this, what's the role you're playing in kind of operationalizing AI at scale? And why is this not as easy as everyone kind of
just rack them and stack them?
We're not just slapping up data centers.
It is, the unit of compute is a scalable unit as defined by NVIDIA. 16 rack configuration with network racks, storage racks, and thousands upon thousands of components, miles upon miles of cable, and they all have to show up on time to go energize. And if you're missing one thing, you don't energize. And because there's so much capital tied up here, you can't miss an hour of getting to energizing. So what we're working on with partners like Lenovo is how do we deliver this brand new unit of compute at the multi-ton complexity, right? You have 16 of these 2.5 ton racks.
Exactly.
How do you sequence it with construction, with logistics, with upstream providers, with, from the time TSMC starts a wafer to the time it gets energized in a rack, how do you minimize that time?
Yeah, time to token.
Time to token, but from wafer start to energizing a rack. And that's what we as an industry have to figure out how to do, because we're drawing down an immense amount of capital. And we have to pay that capital back really quickly. And that's really the work that I'm doing with a number of our partners, is how do we take time out of this?
Yeah, that makes sense. So Connor, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to see if he nods here. Obviously, Nscale's on stage here. You guys are partners, but I'm curious, what came into, what were the characteristics? Why were you embraced as a solution provider here for them? Because there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
I obviously know, I've been engaged with you guys since you were a legend, so I get it, but you are doing a ton out there, particularly with the hyperscalers as well.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like a lot of the criteria over the years hasn't changed, but some of the focuses have. So obviously key and paramount is scale. Lenovo brings scale, global manufacturing footprint in region where these things need to be deployed to. And then Stu mentioned this earlier, the other key is execution. Okay, you have to have a consistent, reliable delivery. There's lots of other variables that are not any less important, but like it's funny how the criteria changed. In the old days of doing hyperscale stuff, it was all about engineering and custom design work and pulling cost out of things and that sort of thing. And still have a great engineering team. That's still a critical part of the puzzle, but it's changed, the variables have changed in terms of what's most important.
So Stu, is this?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. I mean, the supply chain, doing this kind of supply chain work is unprecedented in this industry. There's never been delivery of this amount of volume. You think about Xeon started with Compaq in the late 90s when you and I were working together, right?
Yes.
Think about that standard high volume server model now extrapolated to a scalable unit.
Yes.
And who would have thought that's the delivery vehicle? And without supply chain visibility, and we're working on this with Lenovo and other partners, how do we get this all linked together? And not by spreadsheets. A lot of these data centers are built by spreadsheets.
Right.
You can't do that.
That's right, that's right. And then, by the way, one thing is new architecture every year by multiple vendors as well. So I don't know if there's any standards anymore. What's a standard rack? What is standard networking? It's like, it's all custom and it's churning every year. It must be a huge challenge.
Well, this is where the scalable unit concept is so important.
Yes.
Because it becomes our ramp vehicle. And we're perfectly fine with NVIDIA doing this work because it's the only way we can manage all the complexity around the installs.
Right.
But you and I have gone through roadmap transitions.
Sure.
Remember we used to do PCs every 3 or 4 months?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was really cutting edge.
That was, now imagine doing something complexity of a scalable unit once a year.
Right.
It's daunting, but I think with the help of good partnerships, we can figure it out.
For sure.
So, presuming you can actually get your hands on the equipment, right? Because we know how backed up and difficult supply chain is. It could be memory, it could be turbines, it could be concrete, it could, everything, right? Everything is constrained. But in your opinion, Stu, what are the biggest AI infrastructure challenges? Because we hear cooling, power and cooling is a challenge. You hear timelines, is this project on time? Even if you have everything, is it running on time? Orchestrating, scale up, scale out, scale across. And then of course, these systems, just keeping them stable, right? Keeping them running, all hard. What's your order of operations? What's the biggest problem?
Clearly, I think
and all of them, right?
I mean, but memory is clearly an issue for the industry right now.
That's right.
Memory is probably the biggest constraint. DRAM followed by SSD, and then but we're always competing for which is the toughest constraint. And as we go through this GB300 and to Rubin VR200, that RAM profile and that RAM guidance that we get from NVIDIA becomes critical because we can't afford to not match this thing up. There are differences between the two product sets, so we have to make sure our supply chains ramp up, ramp down with good visibility, so we don't have stalled inventory. So we worry about everything, but you have to worry about the most expensive stuff, and the most expensive stuff is really, the racks.
Right.
But we worry about construction, right? Getting enough folks in West Texas to go build a data center. If they don't show up, we lose a day or 2 days. So everything matters.
You said time to token, right? I mean, every day that these things, right? I mean, they're being financed, they're debt back. I mean, this is where all the bubble stuff comes up. Is people are going to use this stuff. It's just, can we get it all energized? Can we get it running? Can we get tokens created? Can we get there is a lot of unknown.
But I think the company that shows the most operational excellence will be the ones that are financeable.
Yeah, one interesting wrinkle on that too is, and Stu knows as well, but not everybody out in the audience might, but people talk about the size, these gigawatt facilities and these massive AI factories, but what's feeding into those factories? So people like us at Lenovo have to have similar capacity to match.
Yes.
Obviously we're turning racks, we're testing racks, they don't stay with us for quite as long, but it's a massive uptick in capacity required to get the amount of racks they need out deployed.
For sure. So once you do get systems implemented, flips on. How are you measuring, what is the metric, or what are the metrics of success after that? Is it, cost per token divided by reliability? Like is there some special metric that you're looking at right now?
We look at a lot of them. Clearly, the contracts we write are really per hour kind of contracts. So for us, we have to satisfy the likes of Microsoft and other hyperscalers, so that's a certain level of reliability, hitting our contracted commit dates because they're building their P&Ls, and us being able to energize as they introduce new models, right? If they don't have the capacity online, they can't introduce. So getting the reliability up, getting commissioning done, getting time to first token, all those things really, really matter. We look at all of them. They're about, we've got maybe 30 metrics that we're developing right now between myself and Oz Morales of how do we measure success. But it's really that energizing the rack, that's where it all starts. Yeah. And that's where revenue comes from.
Yeah, and it's interesting because time to first token is an endpoint for some parts, but a beginning part for others. And then you got to look at mean time to failure, right? And so that's where the kind of test process, test capability, and the test capacity I was talking about earlier comes into play. Is that we want to shake all that out so it doesn't hurt them. Those racks stay up as long as possible.
By the way, I didn't even say congratulations to the Microsoft deal. I probably should have. You want to brag a little bit about that?
We have said publicly, we have 200,000 GPUs under contract.
Okay.
The deals that we've done with Microsoft are equally, they're fair, they're aggressive. We're very clear on what we have to do with each other. We know when we have to deploy, we know how much we have to deploy, so they have been superb partners, plus they're investment grade.
Yes.
Plus they're Microsoft. And in fact, we just recently hired Nidhi Chappell, who was the person that ran infrastructure at Microsoft, who manages a fleet, roughly 2 million GPUs.
Right.
So she knows how to do this at scale in terms of operations. And so between Nidhi, myself, and a bunch of us who are coming on board, we feel like we've got the right team to go figure this out. But the relationship with Microsoft is integral to our success.
That's great.
Well, Connor, this isn't the end, this is like the beginning, right? These partnerships, the need for these data centers, the next 5 years, we've seen some of the estimates, they're incredible. And it's not going to end in 5 years either. It's just our ability to predict beyond that is just not that good. But I mean, having said this, how does a partnership like this evolve? I mean, Lenovo's got to be looking to be building many of these. How are you going to continue to evolve, make these partnerships more meaningful?
Well, yeah, it's a lot different than a traditional supplier, customer relationship. We kind of have to look off into the future, figure out where they're going to deploy, and our other customers, obviously, and we have to be proactive about bringing capacity up online. Because of that roadmap cycle and churn we talked about earlier, this moves.
Yes.
And power density goes up, right? Cooling density is going up. And so you have to do the capacity planning way ahead of that. So it's where in the world is it going? How much?
Well, and you have to capacity plan at building, at pod, at rack, at tray, and at CPU.
Yeah.
All those things simultaneously have to be capacity planned. And the art of this, the people will be successful who figure out how to do that interlock across those 5 layers.
You would think they'd build a model to actually do that.
And maybe they are.
Yeah. Somebody, I think, maybe we'll hear about it from one of the great speakers here today at Lenovo Tech World. Connor, Stu, want to thank you both so much.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great show. Look forward to chatting more. Congratulations on all the progress.
Thank you for your time today.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, folks.
And thanks everyone for tuning into this session. We are here pre-gaming at Lenovo Tech World. Stay with us for more content. We'll be back really soon.
65.
65.
65.
65.
65. 65.
We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think. Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Not entertained.
Six five.
65.
65.
65.
6.5.
65. 65.
We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think. Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Not entertained.
Six five.
65.
65.
65.
6.5.
65. 65.
We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think. Welcome to Davos. You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
Not entertained.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5. 6.5.
We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective. It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.
You guys are killing it.
This is one of the most chaotic moments in history.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. And chaos loves analysts.
Welcome back, everybody. We are the 6.5.
Daniel Newman.
Daniel Newman of Futurum.
Patrick Moorhead.
Patrick Moorhead. He is the CEO at More Insights and Strategy.
Decode, where we go in and pick apart the biggest news of the week. Bulls and bears. We're going to break down market inflections, technology's top voices. You won't hear this anywhere else.
Make this deal happen.
Cash flow positive.
Is this Armageddon?
Market madness.
Don't you love when we ramble on? We're so entertaining.
Are you not entertained?
We're not entertained.
No pressure.
And the 6.5 is on the road here at Lenovo Tech World in the iconic Sphere here in Las Vegas. You can see and feel the action of everybody coming in before the big tent event headlined by YY, Lenovo's CEO.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one here, Pat, and that's why there was lines pretty much wrapped around the Sphere.
Yes.
All the way from the tip of the Sphere to the Sphere.
I mean, we barely got in for the pregame.
Not gonna lie, I did have to pull my celebrity card out.
There we go.
And to get us in, and it was a good thing I was with you because they didn't have any idea who I was.
You didn't have to show the biceps or anything.
I didn't do any of that, but yeah, it's gonna be a big one. We're gonna, we got to be expecting a lot because, like you said, YY CEO of Lenovo is kicking it off, but we got Jensen, we got Lisa, we got Cristiano, we got Lippu, we got CEO of some of the biggest chip companies, now system companies, software. What are they all? Yeah. AI companies on the planet.
Yeah. So obviously AI is this tremendous force all the way from pocket to cloud and everything in between. And Daniel, as analysts, we like to talk about the ethereal nature of it. But in the end, people who have to deploy hybrid AI actually have to get the work done and make it turn vision into planning into reality. And here we have Robert from Lenovo to chat about that. Robert, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me back on. I really appreciate being here and talking about my favorite topic of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What I live and breathe for the past decade of my life.
It's amazing.
So
You were in it before it was cool.
I was doing AI before AI was a buzzword. It was a household name.
Wait, you said a decade?
Over a decade. Yeah.
So those are the old machine learning days.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wasn't AI around even when you were a kid?
Yeah, 1960s, yeah.
I mean, you were like 20? Yeah, like when Pat turned 20. Anyways,
You know, some of the first algorithms were actually designed before the first personal computer fired up in the 50s.
There we go.
So the history of AI has been around for a long time, but machine learning really took off about a decade ago, and over the past few years, of course, everyone's focused on generative AI.
So the fact that it's been around 70 years now makes it really concerning that some of these pilots are not fully deployed yet. No, in all seriousness though, like, let's talk about that. Like, you're paying a lot of attention, working with the customers, what's delivering value. Like, what are the use cases that you're seeing go into production and deliver value to customers? And like, on the other hand, where are you seeing things kind of fall short and not moving beyond pilots?
So this is a really interesting topic, and we get firsthand experience because my team's the one that's actually working through proof of concepts and deployments with customers and helping them along this journey. And what's really interesting, there's some low-hanging fruit that we see driving mass adoption. Things like code development is being completely transformed today with generative and agentic AI. I mean, if you've heard of vibe coding, that is the future of code development, and people are moving at an extremely fast pace to adopt it. And that's where you see the fear of missing out coming to play with whether you're doing code development, customer service support, call center transformation. All of these are prominent use cases, even like marketing content generation. These are some of the most common use cases, and these are the ones that people have a fear of missing out, that if we don't adopt, we're going to be left behind. So I think that's the low-hanging fruit that we see a lot of customers starting with. And then I think where they struggle is really in either two places. One, and the biggest one is scale. That they get a good POC working, they get something that's a really cool demo or use case that provides that they can showcase that provides a lot of value, and then they just have a failure to scale. There's a number of reasons why that I'll unpack, whether it's doing the right change management, kind of the people aspect of it, or the data aspect of it. Data readiness is a big part of that. Data management is a big part of that. And I think those are probably the two biggest challenges, or not picking the right infrastructure architecture. And a lot of what we're seeing today is people are shifting to a hybrid approach to AI adoption. So those are some of the biggest reasons that we see people are having a failure to launch or failure to scale their AI initiatives.
Yeah, so what is it over the past couple of years, right, that has really accelerated the experiments to POC to actually scaling it? Is it experience? Is it new technology? Is it everybody had to go through a tried and fail? What is moving this ahead so quickly here?
Well, I think going back to the fear of being left behind, I think is one of the big driving factors for a lot of organizations. If you had a big code development team before, and now you're able to improve their efficiency by 50%, which is what we're seeing realistically from some of these use cases. That's a huge advantage that you have in the market, and it has real implications on how quickly you're able to develop your applications, or that you could have a startup come in and with half the size of your team be able to really provide a new rival offering. So that competition element, I think, is one of the biggest drivers that we see of why we have to speed up adoption of AI. And going back to what I said about some of the challenges, the companies that are putting the right infrastructure in place, they're building the right foundation, their data management strategy, the right infrastructure, a hybrid strategy, that's the ones that we're seeing be successful and being able to go from POC to production really quickly, and to create this factory of iterating new AI initiatives. So they get the first one up and going, then working on a second one, third one, fourth one, and they can do that if they build the right foundation.
Another thing that's rate limiting too is workload placement. By the way, not a new thing with AI. It was a thing with Cloud One, but right, where do we run the workload? And by the way, maybe it's partially at the edge, partially in the cloud, but like you're talking to the enterprise, like how are they weighing that? Because there's cost, there's availability, there's scale, there's security, there's sovereignty, there's all these things are issues. Like how are they picking the best place to run the workload? It's a new problem of an old problem in AI.
It's not a new problem, but it is with AI. And I think one of the things that we've seen with a lot of our customers is, where they're going to deploy that AI solution. You named a lot of the key points. I would say the biggest one is around data sovereignty, right? If you tell them that, hey, you've got to put all of your AI in the cloud, that means I got to move all of my data to that environment. And that's where the hybrid approach is really taken off. Because it's not all going to land in one spot. And we see this play out, and I really come back to data gravity being the driving factor of data. Where does your data exist today? If it all exists in the cloud, it's probably easiest to put your AI solutions and your AI infrastructure in the cloud. If it's already being generated at the edge and you're doing like real-time analytics, then you probably want to put the compute closer because of the economics behind it, or the reliability of it, or latency, or those issues. And then the other place is in the data center. A significant portion of enterprise data still sits in the data center, as you know. And so we see a lot of customers that are deploying AI in their data center, and what we see is the limiting factor is how quickly they can get some of these POCs to scale and move from experimentation to large-scale inferencing.
So if you look at across your most successful customer AI deployments, what were some infrastructure or reliability, and I'll call it time to first token?
Yeah, it's interesting. Time to first token is becoming more and more of a language that even enterprise customers are using when they're talking about AI. Which is really exciting to see because that shows that there's a maturity in their adoption. We used to hear this from hyperscalers that were deploying, training LLMs and running large-scale inference, and now we're starting to hear enterprises use that language. But the time to first token is not just about when I put a prompt in and how quickly I get it back, but it also goes back to when can I get my first AI solution up and running? How long is it going to take me to get that first one up and running? And so I think what we've seen is really, what we've been doing to work with customers is really starting to package these up into more turnkey offerings that are easy to implement, easy to get up and running, that we've solved a lot of the architectural challenges and the testing, so they don't have to worry about the infrastructure. We've got that figured out. We've got the hardware and the infrastructure and the management plane figured out. Really what our customers have to bring is their data and then their subject matter expertise to the table, and we can help them with the rest.
Interesting.
So we joke about pilots and getting things to scale, but we also aren't joking. Like it really is a challenge, and a lot of companies, for 2 years, I feel like we've had some of these similar conversations here on the pod, like, all right, let's get it from pilot to deployed at scale. We're still here today, 2026. Remember the ChatGPT moment was 2022, and that's when we started talking about enterprise, like this is going to get into the enterprise, like 4 years. So everything's happening really fast. But at the same time, like a lot of stuff still looks the same. A lot of stuff has not actually truly been deployed. A lot of the ways we interact with applications still very similar. A lot of the tools we use in our business, still the same tools. Maybe they have an agent layered into them at this point, but what do you see as kind of cutting the wheat from the chaff? Like what will be that enterprises that succeed will do this, and enterprises that get stuck will do that? How are you sort of dividing the haves and have-nots in the enterprise AI future?
I also think it's an evolution too, because what we saw in 2023 is an explosion of experimentation, and there was really the wild, wild west. And I think a lot of people wanted to go out and do something so they could tell their board, they could tell their executives that we're doing something with AI. And it was good experimentation. I'm not saying that it wasn't the right thing to do, but I think there's a maturity curve that has to come behind it. So a lot of people went out, they bought ChatGPT, or sorry, bought licenses to something like ChatGPT or Copilot, and they said we checked the box on generative AI, but they didn't back it up with what's the return on investment to our business, and how do we build that into a business case that we can continue to invest in. So if you ask them what's the value it's brought, they're like, well, it's been great, but we don't know what the actual measurable value is. And that's where we're getting started on some specific use cases, like the code development use case, or a call center support use case, and actually having a before and after and saying this is the return that is driven, and then building that right foundation, a hybrid AI infrastructure where we can get you started where your data resides, whether it's in the cloud, in the core data center, or out at the edge, that we can make it easy for you to get started wherever your data resides, and then also help you with the change management, because that's a huge piece of it that I think a lot of people, some things, going back to what you said earlier, Dan, some of the things that are old are new again, and change management is still a challenge, right? The people aspect and getting people to adopt these new tools and capabilities is still part of the challenge. So it's, old digital transformation all over again as part of the journey that we'll have to go on for AI.
Your favorite term?
Well, Robert, I want to thank you so much for joining us here. We are less than 20 minutes from the keynote. It's been a blast chatting to you. Let's do it again sometime soon.
I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
And thank you, everybody, so much for being part of this Lenovo Tech World pregame at the iconic Sphere. There is an unbelievable group of speakers coming up really soon here. You can't mess up on live, or can you? Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a great time having you. We hope to see you all soon.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you guys.
Great to see you.
It's good to see you again.
6'5".
The 6'5".
We're here on the road.
The 6.5 is here in the booth.
What we have here is a Gen 5 SSD.
Especially from a Dell perspective.
It's really about all the work that we've done.
We are here at GTC.
Mobile World Congress.
IBM Think.
Welcome to Davos.